So, hello everyone. So, good morning. Um, as promised, I will be providing you with a lecture video on what we were supposed to be tackling last November 11. So, that was when uh, we were supposed to have a face to face, but then due to reasons unforeseen such as katong balay projector and whiteboard, so to siya, no? So we were not able to conduct face-to-face classes during that time. So right now, as promised, I'll be providing you with a lecture video on continuation and algorithms. So okay, so the last time that we talked about algorithms was last month. So that was a while ago. I think that was almost 2 weeks ago. And I know that some of you medyo nalimtan na, no? Nanta nagwala pa, nalimtan, or that ma-refresh, no? But we were talking about algorithms before I'm talking about kaning the academic break. And we talk about maybe magparan mo sa Python and all. But I figured that since some of you, I think most of you, wala kay programming one or had no experience whatsoever in programming. So we will just gonna be focusing on algorithms this time. Algorithms basically on pseudocoding or flowcharting. So no actual coding will take place because one of the reason as well is that unfortunately laboratories are sparse, yeah. No, kaning wala available in laboratories for us. So if you may have noticed sa kaning if you may have noticed sa ato ang schedule, wala pa tayo labs, and I've talked about it sa mga faculties if they are available or dili nila gamitan ang laboratory so that we could use it. Unfortunately, medyo disod siya i-take place kay medyo upat magud mo ka section. So anyways, what we will be doing is more on, again, flow charting and pseudocoding. So if I ask you to create an algorithm, you will be executing that through flowchart or through pseudocode. But I do prefer pseudocode. Okay, si flowchart takes a lot of space. Okay. Alright. So here you can see the screen is the key techniques on evaluating algorithm. First is profiling, next is counting operation, and then the third is asymptotic notations. Okay. Now, before we talk about this, let's talk more on how to construct an algorithm itself. Now, I have talked last meeting about the different kinds of algorithms, examples of algorithms, such as sorting algorithms, searching algorithms. I have also discussed recursion. So if you wanted to look into that, I have already linked the slides sa ato ang LMS. So pwede ra to ninyo i-visit. You can also look into each of those algorithms that I presented sa YouTube. They are already established and well documented na nagid siya sa YouTube, no. And then as you may have noticed as well sa YouTube, kuha o properly explained atong algorithm. So if you really wanted to look into them for para takot ako inyong grades, no? Para daga may masabtan, then go. Ay mapagsalig na sa ako. Okay? Okay, so now let's track back on what I said a while ago, and it is this one. So I've talked about how you create your own algorithm, how to create an algorithm. Okay, so Last time, hindi na ko siya drag. Okay. Resume na siya. Wala siya yung side span. Okay, so, say for example, I wanted to create an algorithm that sums all elements in a list. So when you say list, there's a lot of list out there. List can also be some kind of a set, no? So it could contain numbers, it could contain letters, and whatever, okay? So and so on and so forth. But the statement states that sums all elements. So when you say sum, si pasabot sa sum, pasabot i-add, no? So it probably this list contains number. So we will assume that this list contains number. Okay. Okay. So now, how will you create a pseudocode for this one? So we will start at creating the algorithm, and then we will somehow use this technique to analyze that algorithm, and then we will go into the big O, big data, and big omega notation for the asymptotic notation, no? Analyzing this algorithm that we will be creating. So for some of you that have already graduated programming one, this problem is very simple. Dali rin ninyo ma-solve. But so that we are all on the same level, those who did not graduate ADE 12 yet. So, dirisata. Okay? Now, how will we start this? So, first and foremost, if we think of a list, it could contain numbers, diba? And then we assume that it is a number. How do we sum it? So, first we need to establish a list. So in programming or in computer science or in the development world, we call that initialize a list. So when you say initialize a list, it means that we are creating a list, no? So in our mind, if we want to manipulate something, that something has to be created first, right? It dili man na pwedeng mo pop up lang na out of nowhere, right? So we need to say na I need that, no? I want that. Okay? So say for example, in reality, you wanted to go to college, so of course you have to take the effort to go to college or graduate senior high or something like that, or acquire those requirements or something like that. So technically this is what it is. We need to initialize the list that we will be adding all of its elements to. Okay, so here is the list. Now, who wanted na, since the problem just states sum all the elements, so we are not gonna be particular on how these elements will be filled. So we're just gonna be assume that the list is, so initialize the list. So this will be part of our algorithm. And then the assume here, I will put that one, the backslash, duha ka backslash. It means it is not going to be part of our algorithm. It will just going to be somewhat more like explanation or um, added information on the algorithm so that the people reading it could understand. Okay, so here we assume that the list already has an element. Okay, so we assume there that the list already has an element. I will darken the pen ha because basig di ra kay ninyo maklaro. So here we assume that the list already has an element. Now, we wanted again to sum all of the element in the list. So, what will we do? So, in connection sa inyo ha, no, and how you do it in reality. Say for example, you have a pocket full of coins and you wanted to count how many coins you have in your pocket. What will you do? First, you will grab again through the definition of algorithms. We need to kaning define it in a specific step by step, right? So first is you put your hands in your pocket, grab as much coins as you have, and then you will scan it one by one, right? One, two, you will get one coin, and then two coin, and then three, four, until none of there will be no coins left in your pocket. So that's how you count the number of coins you have in your pocket, right? There's many way to do that or to initialize that. You could grab all the coins in your pocket and then count them outside, or you can just one by one, no? Isa-isa kong ninukuha sa inyong bulsa at inyong pocket. That could be another way, but in general, what you're actually doing is scanning all the elements in the list. Diba? You will scan and then you will count at the same time. Diba? When you say scan, isa-isa mo muna ninyo. So, that's what technically you're doing. Now, if you just put it here, like for example, I will remove this one. Sorry. That one. I will remove that one. And I will make this as a part of my kaning algorithm. This statement here is not, unfortunately, this statement is not specific enough. So why is it not specific? So when you say na algorithm, it should be specific, right? Kana, grabe gyud siya ka-specific in a way na murag ikaw nag-instruct og um, alien with no idea of the universe or no idea of your environment. No? So murag na. So why is it not specific enough? Because there are many ways to scan, and no, not many ways. There are steps involving in scanning elements, right? Like what are the steps? Like say for example, akong i-relate sa katong coin, ako to siyang i-relate ato. Isa-isa, like kuha kag isa, put it on the left, kung ano to kag isa, put it on the other side, then put it on the side nga nahuman nag-scan, and then katong wala pa na scan diri lang sa right, nga katong na-scan na diri sa left, and then while you scan it mayong kag 1, kag 2. So that's the specific step. So in this case here, we need to define this one. So we cannot just add this on our algorithm because this is not specific enough. So ako na lang na siyang i-comment. Comment akong term. For those who already graduated programming, you already know what this is in programming. No? But technically, I will just be commenting that or make this as just a statement for the readers to understand what are the next step about. So the next steps is this one, scanning all the element in the list. All right. So, how do we do that? How do we isa-isa that one? Isa-isa that one. How do we isa-isa this? What does the scanning process involve? Okay. So, I will just transfer my, here. So, what does the scanning process involve? So, in computer science or in the field of computer, it is very important that we know when we will end. Okay? So technically, in reality, if you wanted to count the coins in your pocket, you know that you will end eventually, right? Because you can see your coins, you have kanang estimate as to pila, and then you are sure na mahuman yun mong count ato within that specific period of time, di ba? So, pagkuha pa lang ninyo, pagtanaw pa lang ninyo, pag-estimate pa lang ninyo sa inyong kabugaton, you already know. However, in computer, di na sila kabaluan na. No? They cannot see, they do not have this ability to look into the future. Parang ganyan na, no? Or cannot have this feeling of intuition that humans have. So, in general, pwede ra gid nato ta mag-start diretso og scan. But si computer needs some murag assurance na mahuman siya. So how will we do that? First is to um, determine how many elements are in the list. So that makabalota nga, okay, nahuman na tag-scan tanan because we are nanata sa last na element sa list. Right? So note na our goal here is not just to scan but to sum. So para masum, we need to isa-isa the element in the list. So how will we do that? Again, we will let we will let S be equal to the size of L. So technically, with this, we are telling the computer, okay, ingana kada ko ang list, you need to scan all of each element. Okay? Sa isahon mo iyahang element og scan because I have this size. So, na nakay indication when come in. Okay? So, this can be part of our algorithm. Now, let's start with scanning each element in the list. So, how will we scan each element on the list? Isa-isahan, no? Just like what we did with the coins we have on our pocket. So, first is we will start at, so I will start at 4. So, when you say 4 until or something like that, so this is just the keyword that will start the repetition process. Okay, so 4 is usually, I will note it here, 4, oops, na-drag na ako siya. 4 is keyword that will start the repetition process. Okay, so usually that's just it, no? Because scanning is a repetitive process, right? Diba? You can't argue with that. Okay, miskin pa isa ran na inyo scan. Still, it's a repetitive process. No? Okay. So for I is equals to 0. So what am I doing here? So I will start my counting at I equals, sige, 1 na lang para di kayo siya libog. So mag-start sa 1, no? Sa first element. So this is what it means until for I equals n 2s. So technically, since this is just an algorithm for those who have graduated programming, this is just a pseudocode, so chill. No, this just means na from I to S. Okay, so in every scanning that we will do, we will start at 1 until we reach the size of the list, which is the S. So for I equals 1 to S, we will get the ith element of the list. Okay? So, good ta sa 1 for I equals 1. So, if you have a point, so good tag. So, this is your points. Okay? So, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, your S is equals to 5. You have here I that starts with 1. So, you will start at 1. So, kuha sa mong isa, 1. So, get the ith, so the first element of the list. And then, next is that you will get the second, kay mo 2 naman eh, because of this statement for I equals 1 to S. So, hangtod sa moabot si I kang S. So, by the next iteration, si I will become 2. So, makuha na po niya si 2. And then, I will become 3. So, makuha na po niya si 3. Third element, and so on. Hangtod sa, this is your ka-S na list, which is your ka-fifth na member. So, muna po na. Hangtod sa mahuman sila, no? So, technically, this is what this is. Now, we have already scanned the list. Now, we will try adding the element to the list. So, how do you add? How do you add the element on your uh, list? Okay, how do you do that? Sige. So, let's just put that aside for a while and look into this one. So, say for example, you have monies on your pocket or on your wallet, no? Say for example, naamoy 20, naamoy 5, na cheese, and then another tamay piso, like yung piso, and then you have another cheese, and then you have 20. So that's the coins you have on your pocket. How do you sum this all up in reality? Kanang inyong naging process. So usually, ang atong ginabuhat is this one, no? You get 20 first. You scan 20. So you have here 20. So this is already done. So ato na siyang i-x or ibalhin nato sa pikas na side or ato siyang ilahi, di ba? Now we have 20 as our total number of money so far. Next is we will scan again and then nakuha na to ni, say for example. So in this case, ato na din siyang i-add din sa ato ang this will be our brain. So ikaw ni, no? Okay, di ba yung alright? So ikaw na siya. So far napaka 20 sa imong utok nga imong na-count, and then mo na din siyang gilahi. Next nimong nakuot sa imong bulsa is another 20. So in this case, imo na din siyang gi-add sa imong brain. So nimo na din siya 40 here. And then imo na din siyang gilahi. Ang next na pud nimo nga nakuha is 1, right? Piso. So imo na pud siyang gi-add. So na kay 41. So na kay 41. So imo na pud na siyang gilahi. Next imo nakuha is 5. So in this case, imo na pud siyang gi-add. So nimo na siya og 46. Next nimo siyang gibuhat, nakuot na pud ka and nakuha nimo si G's, diba? And then gi-add nimo si G's, nimo siya 56. Nimo na pud siyang gilahi, and then nakuha na pud nimo another G's, no? Imo na siyang gilahi, and then imo siyang gi-add here, nimo na siya og 66. And then lastly, isa na lang ginabilin sa imong bulsa, and then muna din ni si piso. Imo siyang gi-add, so nimo siya og 67. So, technically, gingatod to ninyo siya pag-add sa inyong brain, right? So, una ninyo si 20, nakita mong 20, so mo siya 40, nakita mong 5, nimo 25, nakita mong piso, and so on and so forth. Ito siya na-add. Now, the process involves scanning. Inyo siyang gi-scan isa-isa. Of course, scan ninyo sa 20, inyo siyang gi-anam og add sa inyong mind. Scan na po, gi-anam na po ninyo siya add sa inyong mind. So, technically, muna inyong buhaton here. Diba? Kaya mo man inyong process. So in this case, in adding all the element in the list here, you will need to add it. Anam mo ninyo siya add. Now, in your code, you need to have somewhat a representative of your brain that stores the sum. So we will add here, let sum be at first 0. Diba? Kaya sa sugod, sa sugod, wala pa man ni siya sulod. Itong wala pa ta scan, right? Wala pa siya sulod. No? Pa ta start og add, so technically, wala pa siya sulod. So we will start at 0 here. And as we scan, we will add the element. So how will we do that? So first is, ako sa siyang i-reason. And then we will add the concept of the sum there. So we will put here sum b equal to the wait, the previous sum plus the ith element of n. So technically kana siya. Now, ma'am, unsa ni? What is this? Sa katong wala ka get sana. Dili pwede na tangtangon na lang ni si Sam. Like diretso na lang siya ana. What will happen if diretso na ko siya gingana? So sige, balik tayo nga na to ha. So what will happen if ing ana lang? So technically kung ing ana siya, ing ani ang mahita po. So first is, kaganina wala pa ni sulod atong brain, and then we will start at 20. So 20. So first atong scan. 20. So next atong scan, we get 20. But again, since wala man ta nag-add, dili na siya ma-update. 20 lang gihapon ni siya, and then we will scan 1. So mawala na tong 20, may mo na ni siya og 1. So mura mag amnesia kada makakuha mo coin niya kato makuha mo na dito mo puli sa inyong mind, which is a wrong solution, right? So in this case here, ang akong gibuhat, if you really think about it, sum is like the brain, atong brain sa akong picture, no? And then sudanan lang to siya. And then every time na naay mo sulod, kung sa tong nasa sudaan sa tong brain, mo to tong i-add sa element. So that is why it is important to put that there. Okay? So technically, this is the entire algorithm. So we will then display this one. So how will we display that? So display. So this is the algorithm in summing all the elements in the list. First is we initialize the list. Kanilang sang walay comment or walay backslash ang ato ang tanawon, okay? So when we initialize the list, we let the sum equal 0, we let S as the size of L, and then we scan each element in the list. At the same time, we are adding them, putting them to our brain, which is at this time the sum. And then after the scanning, we will then display the sum. And then we're done. So, mo to siya. No? Mo na dayon ni ang ato ang algorithm in Sudoku. So, technically, that's how you think of a solution in terms of in programming. Inyo gid siyang i-detail, and then sometimes you would let inyo siyang i-connect sa reality. No? Or how will you do that if it happens to you? Okay? And then we will translate that into a code or into a pseudocode. So I think that is all for this lecture vid. I will be creating another lecture video on the analysis of the algorithm. Technically, we will be analyzing this algorithm that I just discussed. So if you have further questions, just directly PM me or um, yes. Sige, or you can ask me in class next month. Okay, I think that is all. So Thanks, everyone.